Okay, hi everyone. I'm Heiko. I'm a student at the DHBV, and I'm currently writing my bachelor thesis in the topic of social selling. And I came by Sophie, which is an expert into that. And today I would like to discuss with her on social selling. So, hi, Sophie.
Hi, Heiko. I'm Sophie Rafa. I'm the writer of the Let's Make Things Sophisticated newsletter. And I'm more than happy to to show you a little bit more about social selling and how this whole concept works in the reality. A little bit about me. I'm Sophie. I have more than 15 years digital marketing and social media expertise. And in the last 8 years, I did so many social selling activities for different sales teams. And I'm more than happy to share with you guys today some of my best practices.
Perfect. So, let's start easily. How do you think the social selling topic evolved?
So in the last years, what I've seen is that the whole social selling and this whole concept changed a lot because we came from the direct selling, so this kind of take it or leave it concept into the direction of building up a network and then maintaining our relationships. Also, when it comes to the different formats, you can also see a big shift from simple banners, simple text, and going into more interactive content. And as we discussed previously, LinkedIn is also going into the videos. So these short video formats from TikTok and from other social platforms are also getting more and more used, not only for companies, but also for people. Also, when it comes to the different messages, so we are also moving from from the organic company concept into more personalized content and into more thought leadership style content. Because also, if you think about that, users love connecting with other users instead of the company itself.
Do you think the new concept of video could be effective for reaching engagement or more interaction on your target leads?
Yeah, definitely. So what we also see currently on TikTok is that these short video formats are really crisp, easy to understand, and you can reach them out everywhere from your mobile phone. So many times people are just checking them just to whenever they are waiting for the bus or whenever they have a little free time. So these formats are definitely something interactive, and then they can also build up trust in the audience. So I would definitely recommend to do this because later on you can also check them back, and then it's super easy to digest, also super easy to understand. And then after a while, in this case, you can also build up trust with your audience, and then they can see you as a thought leader later.
Okay. Yeah, maybe this is a good bridge to the thought leadership. What specific strategies or tactics have been the most effective in building a personal brand? And can you please name some examples?
Yes, definitely. So I always say for my salespeople that it's really important to figure out what is your main message, what is your main industry, what should be your focus, and then once you decided, then you have to be consistent. Consistent when it comes to message, consistent when it comes to the different ideas, and then you really have to figure out how to package this whole message. So what do I mean with this? So try to figure out different formats, try to be creative, try to show the same thing into from different angles, because then people can get a way better understanding on this certain topic. Also, when it comes to consistency, then we definitely have to talk about visibility. So visibility, not only on social media, but also later on certain events, industry-specific events. As I mentioned, delivering different formats, but still the same message. And also, it's really nice to show some moments from your life. So not only pushing exactly the same message over and over again, but also show how does it work in the reality. So naming a couple of examples, showcases, that's what certainly was quite good when it came to one of my last sales directors with whom we were working together. We have checked the company content, and then we figured out, okay, at which point can we involve some of his own thoughts? How did it work well? And then we generated a newsletter out of this. And nevertheless, we always added a couple of pictures from his life, at which event he was, what did he learn, what was the benefits out of this. There are also some creators who I also like following on social media and learning from them. So when it comes to marketing and social selling, then I definitely recommend Richard van der Bloem. I do love his honest feedback that he shows not only the perfect life, but also tells so many stories, what happened with his clients, and also how can we make something better together. Also, Andreas Dombret, he's a senior banking advisor here from Frankfurt. I really love that he's talking not only about what is happening in the banking industry, but also showing a little bit behind the screen. So he was also on a meeting last week, or what happened, and then this whole concept comes closer for the whole audience.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I know him too, the Van Bloem. Yeah, in my research in my bachelor thesis. But there are a lot of German writers and authors too, which are very good. Maybe you mentioned the content strategy. What do you suggest approaching content creation and curation for social selling? And what factors should be considered when determining the type, frequency, and quality of content for sharing?
When it comes to content and content strategy, I definitely recommend for the sales guys to reach out the marketing people, because we always have a certain strategy for long term. And it's really important to be aligned, to know when comes what, and then also checking the content, and then formulating a kind of calendar also for them. That's what we have done also with some of my sales guys, that we checked what is going to happen. And also we added a couple of videos or something which help not only for them, but also for the company to deliver better the messages. Also nowadays, AI gives us a lot of options when it comes to hyper-personalization. So that's definitely something great that we can use tools like Gemini or ChatGPT, just to take one piece of content and then we rewrite it or do some brainstorming on that. And then also checking what is their target audience, for whom do they want to send it, and then updating the content accordingly. Also, it's really important to write some easy text, so don't be super complicated, and try to put also some emotions into the contents, because many times we tend to forget that we are having interaction with other people, and what makes us different from the machine is basically the emotions. So whenever you can put either something humorous, something exciting, something what rings a bell, then that's definitely something what is great. When it comes to frequency, I think it depends on the personality. So many times I see with really big creators who has already a couple of thousand followers that they posting every day. So most probably they have a team behind that can also work. But I do prefer that if the sales guys are also taking the lead on not only the generation, but also what shall we post. So my personal experience, I do love posting 2 times per week. I already learned from my audience that what is the best time. So that is also really important, because that also differs from users to users. When do they have time? When do they go to social media and check the things? Also, it's important to resonate somehow with the corporate message and what the company wants to sell, because at the end of the day, the company as well as the person should shine digitally.
Okay. In the previous question, you mentioned how to interact with these people. How do you transition from social media interactions to sales conversations? Do you have experience on that?
Yeah, definitely. So if you think about that nowadays, the events are also getting more and more important. I think social media is definitely a channel whenever you can invite the people and then start engaging them to visit you, and then doing some meaningful conversation. So for that, we already had a couple of ideas previously, like using so many hooks, like yeah, don't do the same mistake, be clever, visit us, something like this, but it gets quite boring. It's getting more and more important to use videos, what we have already mentioned, for inviting for certain discussions or getting more and more engagement, and also having some real-time conversations. So like using a normal video chat also on LinkedIn is getting available. And personally, I also love using it because it's quite the same, like same experience like Zoom or Teams. And then at the end of the day, you don't have to ask a personal email, or you don't have to send certain emails out, but then you can use the platform itself.
Okay. Yeah, you said that social selling is something like a tool for sales teams. Based on your experience, could you explain the different stages of building and managing sales teams using social selling? And what specific metrics or KPIs did you use to measure their success?
Yeah, definitely. So in one of my blogs, I already mentioned that I've already seen and also did test on these certain stages. So I think the basic and the most easiest is one-on-one emails. So whenever the salesperson sends out either a contact request or an email, the problem is with these things that if you just simply send out something like, I have seen that we were at the same high school, or I have seen that yeah, yesterday you posted something, it doesn't really ring a bell. But if you can also already put some points, some common things, some milestones, then it's getting more engaging. The next stage is whenever marketing and sales are working together. So I highly engage each and every salesperson to reach out the marketing team and ask some help. For sure, you are going to get some kind of support. And then you can start working together, for example, on optimizing your profile. Because the whole concept for social selling is basically to generate traffic to your own profile, and then figuring out what can you do with this. Somehow qualify them or get to know them better, or start a conversation. Also, it's really important to do some collaboration because of the posts itself. So the social selling, so the social team can definitely help you to generate some organic posts, or help you to make things better in order to shine digitally. So definitely the KPIs could be some traffic-based KPIs, like how many times were your profiles seen, or how many clicks and engagements you have received. But nevertheless, I also highly recommend to check the number of impressions, because nowadays less and less people want to give some digital footprint. So instead of just simply relying on a certain engagement, likes or love or whatever other buttons, I also recommend to check the impressions, because then it shows the bandwidth of your message. The next stage is sales collaboration. So whenever the sales team is also starting working together based on social data. And one of the best ways is like using Sales Navigator. So that's a subscription-based option within LinkedIn. Over there, you can start generating together lead and account lists. And nevertheless, you can also start building up the company structure. So whenever you realize who is dealing with what, then you can build up and share also a structure of the company, and then you can share among the team. So there's definitely something really beneficial when it comes to ABM, so account-based marketing, because then you can identify who are the decision makers, who are helping for the decision makers. So both teams are definitely important. And last but not least, I also did a really interesting test to involving not only the sales and marketing team for the whole sales navigator concept and for this whole collaboration, but also telemarketing team. And the reason is because so many times the telemarketing team needs to know what is going on with that certain user. Also, once you involve the telemarketing team into the whole sales navigator concept, then sales team can also pass through a couple of leads for the telemarketing and also on the other way around. So in this case, on one hand, you have the transcript from the call, but also on the other hand, you can already check the interest of this user, what rings the bell, and all the information what they are sharing online. So I think it's definitely important to involve some external agencies as there. Telemarketing is the best example. Maybe you can also add PR as well. But telemarketing is a really great way to do lead generation and then work together with sales.
Well, you mentioned that the sales navigator can help to identify the leads. What tools or techniques could help more identify these leads and prioritize the outreach efforts?
Yeah, so on one hand, Sales Navigator is a great tool. This was basically the advanced search for LinkedIn. Nowadays, it's getting more as a collaboration tool, and there are already so many different functions, but also LinkedIn can give you so the search engine is also getting better and better within LinkedIn. So once you have some idea, then you type into the search bar at the top, and then the system is going to give you so many options. Do you want to filter for jobs, for person, for company, for services? So there are so many options, and there is also something additional like all filters. And over there, you can even check the first name as well. So that's definitely getting more and more granular when it comes to filtering and using LinkedIn as a database. Because if you think about that, LinkedIn has more than 1 billion registered users worldwide. So this is getting one of the very best database because all the users are uploading and sharing their information by themselves. So you don't have to do data cleaning or any other things, but you can concentrate on how to filter out all the things what you can see over there.
Okay. Yeah, data is a good point. How can data analytics help to refine strategies and improve the results of social selling?
Yeah, so digital marketing is widely well known from real-time data, and that was also one of the main points why I felt in love in digital marketing, because you can see real-time data, and then at the same time, you can do also something in real time. So instead of waiting for the next publication or for the next event, you can already do right now, right here, some changes. So it's super easy to check the normal social data like number of impressions, clicks, engagements. What I also do love checking the number of shares and comments and the quality of the comments. Because many times, especially at the organic posts, you're going to see tons of likes and everything, but normally internal colleagues are doing this. So it's hard to define, okay, who could be a potential customer or prospect. But for that's why I think it's really interesting to check the CRM, because Sales Navigator, for example, can be also linked to certain CRMs like for Dynamics, Salesforce as well. And over there, then you are going to see at a certain person, not only the data what you have in CRM, but also the social data, their profile information, all those things. And later on, you can also do some filters and see, okay, what was, for example, the average customer lifetime value, or what was the conversion rate when sales did not only the basic things, but also did a little social selling. I think throughout all these metrics, then you can really evaluate if your social selling works or not. But at the very beginning, I wouldn't put too much pressure on sales, rather letting them fun letting them try and fail or test all the different concepts, because this is on one hand not something really new, but it can work only if people are on board, if they really want to do something together with you, because it could be at the very beginning a little bit extra work for them. So in order to make it more fun, I wouldn't really use so many matrices, but rather using marketing matrices just to see, okay, how the things are working.
Interesting. Yeah. You mentioned it before. AI is right now
Yeah.
the big topic in our digital world. Maybe we talk about future trends based on your experience or your expertise. What are your predictions for the future for social selling?
Yeah, so many times, yeah, I also received a couple of offers for AI generated comments or something automation when it comes to social selling. So that's what I definitely don't recommend at all, because social selling is basically based on emotions, based on people. So that's getting like a trend just to save a little time, but I don't think that that's going to be a really nice thing, and hopefully it's not going to um, live for too long. This kind of, yeah, let's automate everything. But on the other hand, AI is definitely here to help us when it comes to content generation, brainstorming, and also hyper personalization. I would love to see way more case studies than what we currently have, because so many times the companies they have only one idea, but so many times the tools could be used in so many different ways. But you just simply have to give some examples for the users, and then starting conversation, and then see how all the things are going on. Also, I hope that with the help of AI, we are going to get way better and more predictions than what we have currently. So that's definitely part of the predictive analytics. And also, I think it's already here, but I think it's going to be more used to have personalized shopping experience with the help of AR or VR. So that was already some really exciting things. So already some airlines have already used it, like at the airport you already got this big glasses, and then you could check, okay, what is the difference between economy class or business class, or business to first class. And there were so many really interesting insights that whenever they give this big AR glasses, then obviously most of the people just realize, oh my God, business class is a bit better and it costs only a couple of euros. Oh my God, yeah, let's do this. Okay, a couple of €100, sorry, sometimes. But then the selling experience was way better. So they could realize already by themselves how amazing it's going to be. So I definitely see here also a big development in the near future.
I can think of AI could improve how to find how you say it, the right time to contact the right
Yeah,
leads, and how you approach the best way these leads.
yeah,
Maybe, yeah, it could improve your text, your approach to these people, maybe with
yeah.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Google has already done for more than a decade or even longer, using AI and machine learning to predict, okay, which user wants to see which banner. So that's what we have also done with programmatic advertising, and that's why this whole data concept is already really widely well used thing, that the machine can predict more or less what is going to happen with you. But also in B2B marketing, it's definitely a big gap. You see it amazing, Heiko, that we definitely need way more predictions than what we currently have, because most of the time we are a little bit blind. It's really hard to follow the users because of the lack of data. And hopefully in the near future, we are going to get something for B2B as well, not only to B2C.
Okay, let's come to our last question. Maybe it's a question very relevant for me because I'm very new in social selling. What advice would you give to someone who is new in this field?
So definitely be yourself, be bold, try to show for others also what is the benefit of this whole social media and the whole concept of social selling. Try to show some emotions instead of automation, and try to think about the social media groups and people like a kind of extended team, who can also help you almost in everything. So there, for example, there's a lot of dedicated groups for different topics. Personally, I also ask so many questions when it comes to usability, or what do you think about the latest trends, because everything what you do on social media happens in real time. So this is one of the very best way how to connect with people, how to brainstorm, how to get the latest information. And also on the other way around, not only ask questions, but also share some of your ideas, be helpful and reachable also at the same time. So in case someone wants some help from you, just please be open and earn the right to start a conversation.
Okay, perfect. Maybe on your answer, an additional question. Do you think everyone can do social selling?
Yeah,
Or
definitely. So all what you have to do is just like be open and start. So be bold, because I think the most important is social selling, and definitely by selling is that you have to show not only the product itself but also your personality. So users are connecting with users rather than machines or with the product itself. And nowadays it's getting more and more important. So that would be my advice here.
perfect. Thank you very much, and thank you for supporting me in my bachelor thesis on the topic social selling. And yeah, your expertise and the interview was very interesting. Thank you, Sophie.
Yeah, thank you, Heiko. Yeah, I'm also super happy and looking forward your thesis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Oh, jetzt musst du stoppen, glaube ich.